My name is Paul Frank, and for the Black Mirror assignment, I watched the Waldo Moment. So, for a short summary of the episode, basically, Waldo is the animated character or cartoon that is controlled behind the scene by Jamie, who is the main character in the episode. And Jamie is the voice of Waldo and controls every movement that he makes. Waldo starts out as a low priority part of a late night talk show, but as time goes on and he gains popularity, he starts to involve politicians and specifically Mr. Monroe, who's a candidate in the upcoming parliament election in the episode. And Waldo begins to uncover the corruptness in the government, and he grows a huge following, and that's basically where the episode goes. My personal reaction for the Waldo moment, I really enjoyed watching this episode, especially with the presidential race that's been going on for the last few months. I thought the episode was funny to watch, and how an animated character could ultimately expose politicians for some of the beliefs and things that they say, which aren't necessarily true. Something that I find is interesting in the episode is how Jamie really struggles to portray Waldo, because he goes back and forth between thinking it's right and wrong to talk to people as a cartoon character. He knows the popularity of Waldo, but he also knows how much Waldo can change the parliament election. And I think that most politicians, especially in this show, they aren't all that they say they are, and I can relate that to the presidential race in a multitude of ways. So overall, I really liked this episode, and it was fun to watch. There are many pros and cons to this type of facial recognition technology. Some pros are that people can tell their ideas without showing their face. They don't have to be in front of an audience. They can be behind a screen and express their ideas. Another pro is that it's a source of entertainment. It can make people laugh, and a lot of people like animated cartoons, so people would be interested in it. Some cons are anyone can be behind the screen, which I find kind of scary almost, because what you see on the screen is not what is behind the camera, and you really don't know who's behind the camera and what they actually believe in. And another con is that fake information can be spread. It's just a way that they can fake news and all that. It can just spread more easily with this type of technology. The future of this technology has benefits and drawbacks. The future of this technology is scary because it can be misleading, especially in a democracy or in political settings or in news settings. It has the opportunity to spread stuff that isn't true, and people might believe what they see. It's kind of like what they believe on the internet. They might believe whatever they see on the internet. Well, if there's facial recognition technology, they might believe everything they see, and they could be fooled by what is actually behind the camera and something that they actually don't believe in. So the future of this technology, it's good and it's bad, but I would say it's kind of scary. There are many technologies that have the capability of the tech shown in the Waldo moment. An example I have seen and that Black Mirror actually predicted was the new iPhone 10 and up. There's facial recognition software that is used, and these animojis are animated reflections of facial expressions by the user, and they're really similar to what Waldo is, and it's mimicking putting the mouth and movements into an animated structure, so it's really like the Waldo moment, and it's happening on everybody's phone today. So that's a good piece of evidence for this technology. connecting this episode to in-class readings and videos wasn't that hard. We actually read about and watched videos about the phenomenon of deep fakes and how they're making anything seem realistic. And specifically, a reading that we had by The Guardian talks about how deepfakes and technology similar to the one shown in the Waldo Movement have the ability to portray fake news and fake ideas that we don't have any control over, really. And Senator Marco Rubio in the United States says the next wave of attacks against American and Western democracies is coming from deep fakes and facial recognition technologies like the one used even in this episode. So I think that it's crazy that facial recognition is at its point where it is now, but the future, there's good and bad to it, and I just hope that it's used in the right way. So overall, I really enjoyed this assignment, and I learned a lot about facial recognition technology and how it's used in the episode and how it's used today in the real world. And thanks for watching.